call to order with all members present. I'm going to ask our city clerk to do the Pledge of Allegiance once more. And I'll ask Mayor Pro Tem Alex Monteiro to do the to do the invocation. Okay.
Thank you. Please stand. Put your hand over your heart and repeat after me.
I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. City Clerk, and thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you so much. Mr. City Clerk Paul Jimenez has a presentation on the agenda.
Mayor Pro Tem's going to do the invocation
You didn't
first.
do the invocation yet.
Right, perdón, sorry.
Okay, can everybody
Especially now after all this craziness. Yes,
bow your head, please? Let's say thank you, Jesus, in the name of God, for this meeting, and thank you for all the residents of Hawthorne and all the public officials here attending this meeting, that we will have wisdom and some constructive meeting, and make sure that you protect all our servicemen, especially tomorrow is Veterans Day. So let's make sure that we celebrate all the veterans and all the servicemen that is fighting for our freedom in the hardest way. We wish this meeting will be positive, and for the people of Hawthorne, we say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So, Mr. City Clerk, can you proceed with your presentation?
Yes, I can. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I have the distinct honor of introducing Senator Bradford, who represents the city of Hawthorne in the 35th District. He's joining us tonight to provide us a legislative briefing. Welcome to our council meeting, Senator Bradford. I just saw his screen.
I don't say his name.
Yeah, it's there. I just saw it. Let's see. He got off. Maybe, let's go ahead and do the second one, the proclamation, while he gets back on.
If you can sort that out, please.
Yeah.
In the meantime. Okay, folks, I would like to read a proclamation that honors the Del Air Baptist Church's 75th anniversary. And Pastor John L. Jefferson is the pastor for that church. And I gotta let you know, they do so many things. I've witnessed it firsthand. As the years have gone by, I've become more familiar with the work they do. And the reason is that it's not loud. It's not out there. They do it humbly, and they help the community. It's not for show. It's not for any alternate reasons. It's purely to help the community. And they do it, and they impact the community in such a manner, especially with their food giveaway. And they're working with the Department of Children's Services to offer a fair and safe location to do visitations between parents and children who are separated. It's a lot of great work, and I know a lot of my council member colleagues will agree with me on that. But the important part of this specific presentation is the proclamation honoring Del Air Baptist Church, which I have here, and we're going to submit in a nice little frame to Pastor John L. Jefferson and his congregation. So I'll go ahead and read that. A proclamation honoring Del Air Baptist Church. Whereas the Del Air Baptist Church was organized in February 1945 by Reverend Eugene Crow, and the first service was held on June 10th, 1945. On October 21st, 2000, Pastor John L. Jefferson became the 8th pastor of the Del Air Baptist Church. God has blessed Del Air Baptist Church to minister to the Hawthorne community for the past 75 years. And for centuries, for decades, I'm sorry, somebody put centuries. For decades, inspirational citizens have risen above their individual potential to create a better life for themselves and for those around them. As a congregation of Del Air Baptist Church has worked hard to preserve our spiritual legacy in the city of Hawthorne, one of commitment and dedicated to work to unify the city's unique and spiritual community under the guiding principle of faith, hope, and love. Whereas since its founding, Del Air Baptist Church has been blessed with inspirational leaders, dedicated members, and a host of tremendous achievements. This momentous occasion reminds us of the distinguished history that Del Air Baptist Church has sustained through the years. And now, therefore, the Hawthorne City Council does formally commend the congregation of the Del Air Baptist Church on your many years of honorable and faithful service to the city of Hawthorne's spiritual community of Commonwealth. Congratulations upon reaching this impressive milestone in your history. It's signed by Mayor Alex Vargas, Mayor Pro Tem Montero, Councilmember Olivia Valentine, and Councilmember Mike Tejeda. So congratulations to Del Air Baptist Church. And we'll present this to Pastor John L. Jefferson as soon as we have it put in its holder and we can reach him. And I think he's probably watching this meeting right now. So congratulations, Pastor John L. Jefferson, on all the great.
May I comment?
Absolutely, yeah.
Chair.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I echo the sentiment of my council member colleague about honoring the Del Air Baptist Church, not just for giving a few times. They give all the time. They have a constant program of giving. Their warehouse and their kitchen and their the room where they service people are constantly filled with food from everywhere, and people are in need, and they recognize the need in the city, and they are really always responding to the need. We believe it is the Christian thing to do, and I think they do exemplify the spirit of Christianity in that they are always there for the poor. So we honor them because they are an important asset to the city of Hawthorne. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I echo the Miss Valentine's word because yeah, Pastor Jefferson has been there for a long time, helping. Even before I became a councilman, we used to coordinate together from the Hawthorne School District, from the Moneta Garden, from the Hawthorne President Council. We're all giving. And like Ms. Valentine said, he always giving food every week. So it's not just once or twice. Every week he delivers fresh product, meat, so to the people of Hawthorne and beyond. So we thank him and for his congregation.
Thank you, colleague. All right. Anybody else? If not, I'll just go ahead and proceed with the meeting. Thank you, colleagues. Let's take a look, see where we're at.
Mr. Bradford's on.
Yeah.
What happened?
Senator Bradford is on.
Bradford's on.
Is he? Did you finally get him on board?
He's on. I'm going to go ahead and introduce him. Finally.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So again, I have the distinct honor of introducing Senator Bradford, who represents the city of Hawthorne in the 35th District. He's joining us tonight to provide us a legislative briefing. Welcome to our council meeting, Senator Bradford. You're on.
He's muted.
Can you unmute him? Senator Bradford, welcome.
It looks like his connection might be frozen.
Yeah, he froze. Uh-oh.
I think he's off again, so we may just have to reschedule.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll talk to his team and see if we can reschedule.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see where we're at right here.
Oral communications.
Yes, oral communications. Can you read that, sir?
Yes. During oral communications, speakers shall have 3 minutes to state their business. The Brown Act prohibits the city council from providing a detailed response or acting upon any items not contained on the agenda. The governing bodies as a body shall have the discretion at the close of oral communications to refer your remarks to the city manager for study, investigation, report, and/or recommendation.
Okay. Any oral communications? Go ahead.
Yes, so we have one So let me go ahead and call her. So it's Miss Martinez. She's going to be speaking on item 34. So,
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me
Yes.
now?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Bradford.
Should I continue? I'm sorry.
It's connection.
Yeah.
All right, let's just continue with the oral communications and then we'll just bring them in. And Mr. Eric Chavez, can you make sure you control the mute and the unmute, please?
Yes. So we're going to move forward with our public comment.
Hi.
Ms. Martinez, you can go ahead. You have 3 minutes. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, am I being recorded or?
Yes, right now you're being recorded. You have 3 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, first off, I would like to congratulate everyone who got elected. Secondly, I wanted to comment on one of your item agendas, number 34. I just wanted to implore our city officials to make equitable decisions when making decisions that affect residents who are homeowners. Right now, it is not the time to implement any financial responsibilities on Hawthorne homeowners, especially now since we're still in a pandemic. Residents and homeowners should not be held accountable for mismanagement of city funds. If there is any at the time, the individuals themselves should be held accountable. Please know that businesses or corporations are not the only inhabitants in the city. Please make equitable and just decisions for all residents. Lastly, I wanted to point out that this last election was filled with so much hatred that the thought of voting for our officials turned me off. I know my sentiment is not the only one and that there are others who feel this way. I believe city officials should set an example of what kind of behavior should be allowed during an election. Although we have freedom of speech, what is not okay is to treat residents with blatant disrespect because of different political ideologies. Residents should not feel threatened by city officials or their campaign strategies just because they support a different political view. It is unacceptable and questionable that this went on during this recent election. Let's make the city of Hawthorne a true city of good neighbors, and all of us unite in one in order to keep improving our city for the better good. So I end it with this: do good, be good. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. You have a great night.
Thank you, you too.
That is the end of public comments.
Well, thank you, Miss. Thank you, Miss, for calling. Mr. Clerk, so that ends the oral communications. Anybody else? Okay, oral communications closed, ordered. Mr. City Clerk, can you read your consent calendar, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have 6 items on my consent calendar for your approval. Item 7, approval of city council minutes for the regular meeting of September 22nd, 2020 and October 13th, 2020. Item 8, approval of waiver of full readings of resolutions and ordinances on tonight's agenda. Item 9, city treasurer's request approval of the warrants. Item 12, resolution number 8242, a resolution of the city council of the city of Hawthorne, California, approving the city of Hawthorne pay schedule. Item 13, resolution number 8244, a resolution of the city council of the city of Hawthorne, California, approving establishing a 4-way stop at the intersection of Wilton Place and 115th Street. Item 14, resolution number 8245, a resolution of the city council of the city of Hawthorne supporting the submittal of an application by the LA Neighborhood Land Trust for statewide park program grant funds for adoption.
Move to approve.
Second,
Please vote.
Councilmember Montero,
yes.
Councilmember Taeda,
Yes.
Councilmember Valentine,
Yes.
Mayor Vargas.
Yes.
The vote reflects mayor and city council voting yes.
Okay, the public hearing, sir?
Yes. Now is the time and place for a public hearing for Housing Authority to adopt fiscal year 2019-2020 consolidated annual performance and evaluation report. Housing Department's declaration publication filed. No written communications were received.
Okay. Is there anybody who would like to speak on the topic? If not, I'll declare the hearing closed, so ordered. Okay, Housing Manager Kimberly Mack has a brief oral report on this item. Go ahead, miss.
Alex Vargas, Pro Temp, Mayor Pro Temp Alex Montero, council members, City of Hawthorne staff. I'm Kimberly Mack, Housing and.
Ms. Mack, we can't hear you. My apologies for interrupting, but if you could increase your volume.
Is she doing this through the computer?
Can you hear me now?
No, we could barely hear you.
Okay. Better? No?
No, we can't hear you.
Can you try speaking loudly and see if that helps?
You could try yelling.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Sorry. I'll start over. Okay, to the mayor, Alex Vargas, Mayor Pro Tem Alex Montero, council members, City of Hawthorne staff. I am Kimberly Mack, Housing and CDBG Programs Manager for the Housing Department. We would like to present to you the 2019-2020 Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, also known as the CAPER. The CAPER reports on the fifth and final program year of the 2015-2019 Consolidated Plan period, covering July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. The program priority needs were to preserve the supply of affordable housing, promote home ownership, expand the supply of affordable housing, improve neighborhoods to create a suitable living environment, public services to help low-income residents succeed, ensure equal access to housing opportunities, and improve public facilities and infrastructure. The program year accomplishments include the acquisition of affordable rental housing. We attempted to, through a notice of funding availability for a community housing development organization on October 22nd, 2019, the City Council approved the Choto project. This project did receive applications. However, after going back and forth with numerous times with the group that was selected, we were unable to certify the group. So those funds were repurposed for the Emergency Rental Assistance Grant Program. Other activities for the year included public services for low-income families. This was done through our teen center, where we assisted 119 families. Fair housing services is done through our Housing Rights Center, where we assisted 223 families. Our public facilities improvements that year included the Alley Improvement Project, as well as the ADA Street Improvement Project, where we assisted approximately 8,000 people. Additionally, the Section 108 loan payment, the regular payment was made on time and accordingly. And of course, planning and general administration for the CDBG and home programs. The CDBG resources made available during this program year included annually awarded funds and unallocated prior year funds totaling $1,386,875. The home resources made available during this program year included annually awarded formula grant funds, program income, as well as reprogram funds totaling $979,134. The total CDBG funds used that year was $1,254,667. The total home funds used that year was $73,309. This CAPER report was made available for the HUD 15-day public review and comment period on October 22nd, 2020, concluding with this public hearing November 10th, 2020. It is the city's recommendation that the City Council approve the program year 2019-2020 CAPER and direct the city manager or his designee to submit the program year 2019-2020 CAPER report to HUD. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. What's the recommended motion?
To approve the 2019-2020 CAPER.
Okay. I make a motion.
Second,
Please vote.
Councilmember Montero,
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda,
Yes.
Councilmember Valentine,
yes.
and Mayor Vargas.
Yes.
The vote reflects mayor and city council voting yes.
Thank you. Next, we have general matters. Lieutenant Romero has an oral report on item 19. Is Lieutenant Romero with us today?
Should be, yes.
Hey,
Hello, Mr. Mayor, how are you?
how are you?
I'm well. Good, good. Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
Can I go?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members, and all dignitaries present. Thank you once again for an opportunity to speak with you again and give you an update on what the police department, along with code enforcement, are doing to enforce some of the commercial cleaning responsibilities. Let me take you back to March. Next slide, Eric. Beginning of March 2020, what we saw is the impact by CDC and LA County requests that many of the businesses close their doors. As a result, there was an absence of visibility, lack of employees, lack of patrons present. And so what ended up happening is some of these businesses that had closed their doors ended up becoming local dump sites. Many families that were forced to stay at home also found it as an opportunity to implement spring cleaning. Spring cleaning led to summer cleaning and now fall cleaning. So what we've seen is a continuance of trash that's been dumped at local shopping centers. So what we found is that now people, rather than disposing of it properly, they were taking some of these items and looking for the local parking lots, dumpsters, and discarding them there. And so despite our efforts, things did increase, and they have increased as time went by. Next slide. One of the things that the city has done is it contracted out Martinez Landscape to help with some of that cleanup process. They've been instrumental, and thanks to Ray Pedrosa, many of our alleys, some of our shopping centers have helped clean some of these areas up. Our public works has been instrumental as well. Anytime our police department has reached out to them, they've been responsive in picking up some of the bulk items, things that look very unsightly. Our code enforcement has been tasked with contacting the local businesses, the managers, and asking them to do their part in enforcing and increasing the volume of the trash removal. And lastly, our Hawthorne Police Department Metro Unit under Sergeant Saldana. That team goes out every morning at 5:30 and contacts all the local businesses, checks for any trash, debris, any unsheltered people that may need to be moved along. And so by the time the first employee or the first patron shows up at one of these facilities, the place looks a lot better. So it's been a very collaborative effort, and I'm glad to see that it's taking place. Next slide. Despite our efforts to clean these areas up, the trash continued. And it wasn't until late August, early September that in one of our city council members, Councilwoman Liv Valentine reminded us of City Ordinance 2160. It's enforceable under HMC 8.21. And basically it's an ordinance that requires all commercial complexes to create and maintain a written cleaning schedule. They're responsible for removing graffiti, maintain the landscape, and the daily litter removal that's plaguing the parking lots. The requirement under this ordinance is that the businesses, the owners or managers, or whoever occupies this property is required to maintain a public display of the cleaning schedule that's readily available for anybody to inspect. I must warn you, what we dealt with up to this time was quite a bit of demand on all our resources, our police resources. Despite that, we made every effort. So let me take you to the next slides, but I must warn you, some of these images may be graphic to you. This is the alley west of Hawthorne Boulevard, 13200 block. We dealt with this almost 2 or 3 times a week. This is the kind of unsightly situations that we're dealing with on a regular basis. Martinez Landscape, Public Works, and even our code enforcement will make our routine stops at some of these places to get some of this debris removed. This is a business that remained vacant, and as such, there was little supervision and therefore little presence. People saw this as a local dump site. Next slide. People try to do the right thing and actually bring some of the items to the donation centers, but the donation center was also closed. Some employees or plagued with COVID. And so a lot of these items were remain inside. It became an opportunity for some of our unsheltered people to come through, rummage through some, and even just people from the general public that found some items valuable. Unfortunately, these are some of the things that we saw left behind and we had to deal with on a daily basis. Next slide. People that were doing some spring cleaning decided to move some of their items, assumed that street maintenance bulky items were in effect. In fact, they were not. There was a moratorium for some time. I believe it's now resumed. And so what we found is some of these items were left for several weeks. Even my team was going around taking photographs, notifying Republic to remove these items, and they remained out there for weeks at a time. So this added an opportunity for people to come by, pick up some of these items and carry them to other places. Next slide. And some of these items ended up at our encampments and some of the parking lots, our shopping centers. And these are some of the things that we have to deal with on a regular basis. So next slide. So following the Ms. Valentine's reminder of Ordinance 2160, we met with the code enforcement team to try to find exactly what the details are behind this ordinance. It was very little enforced, it was not well known, and many of the shopping centers, the business owners were not familiar with it as well. Thanks to our planning department, they were able to provide us with an informational flyer. The informational flyer contained all the requirements under the order. And so our code enforcement began contacting, emailing, and mailing copies of the city ordinance to all these businesses, all these property owners, and anybody that occupied any of these properties. Overall, there were approximately 1,200 flyers emailed or distributed to our shopping centers and some of these places. So it became an informational campaign to try to get them to come up to speed. The property owners were given a compliance date, which was October 15th, to one, post the signs, have a cleaning crew available, or have some schedule in place that detail how this debris was going to be removed. And so some of the field responses was to make sure they came within the compliance of this order. At this point, I'm happy to say that most of the shopping centers have reached a 90% or above compliance rate. For those few that have not been able to obtain a cleaning crew, they've been issued administrative citations. Based on the spreadsheet that our code enforcement has generated, I'm happy to say that there's only 4 small strip malls that have not come into compliance. It could be because they don't have the schedule fixed, or they just don't have a maintenance crew. And for some of those that have failed to clean up the properties, the ones that we are continually getting problems with, or reports of, those have, we reached out to Public Works, and through code enforcement, we sent out a contracting crew to clean it up, and then we ultimately have billed the business owners. So, like I said, we've reached almost a 90% or above compliance rate, and the situation has improved. Next slide. So this is a 13200 block, 13000 block of Hawthorne Boulevard, the West Alley that we saw in much disarray. As you can see, just the mere fact that the business is open, our contacts, our informational campaign to try to get everybody to come into compliance has had a significant impact, a positive impact, I might say. Next slide. We've been fortunate that some of the management has been more than willing to work with us. Some of these areas were cleaned up. The containers, the dumpsters were sealed, contained, so that there's no one sleeping in there. The areas were resurfaced, parking stalls cleaned out. So they were more than happy to help us out in the process. Next slide. These are overalls of some of the areas that were highly popular for us, and where we received the majority of the complaints. And I believe you as city council members had received many complaints about these properties as well. Next slide. This is the auto zone at 137 and Hawthorne Boulevard. And I share this one because we've had a very good working relationship with the management and the staff here. when we received several complaints from some of the neighbors around here, including some of the dumpsters to the rear of the business, we brought it to their attention, informed them of the neighbors that were complaining about their condition. And almost overnight, they said, hey, what do you want us to do? And so they were very responsive. They came out and trimmed all the bushes, cut down the trees. They removed all the trees around the trash containers that made it unattractive for anybody to set up camp or anything like that. So I would say that we received about 1 or 2 complaints a day. Our police officers, as well as our code enforcement and my Metro team, were going out there almost daily, multiple times. And to this date, in the last several weeks, I have not seen one call, one complaint about this property. So that's part of the collaborative effort that we've done. And it's shown to be effective. Next slide. So I know that the general public has had expectations of us as a city, public works, as well as a police department. But we also have expectations of our general public. And I think it's important to address those issues as well. So one of the things that we do is we invite our general public to be more vigilant. And so as you shop, as you navigate through some of our businesses, as you shop in our shopping centers, please feel free to reach out or email our code enforcement at cityofhawthorne.org. Give us detailed information as to what the nature of the problem is, what needs to be addressed, and we'll make sure we send a team out there as well. We also ask that if you plan on cleaning out major items from your homes and you plan on putting them on the sidewalk or area that's accessible, contact Republic and remove the items the day before so that it doesn't sit out there for too long. This will prevent from some of these items getting picked up or exported somewhere else. So, and as always, you can always call our trash pickup hotline. Let us know what items are present, what's discarded, and we'll send a crew out there to pick it up. So I believe that the collaborative effort that has been in place, thanks to Mrs. Valentine, we now are familiar with this ordinance. It's been in effect. Most of the businesses have been very cooperative, have worked with us well. And I believe as you traverse or travel the city, you'll notice that our shopping centers are much cleaner, nicer, and much more pleasant shopping. So I'm happy to report that it's working. It's got some teeth, and I'm glad it's working out. So that's my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to share anything else.
Thank you, Lieutenant Romero. That is very encouraging report. Thank you for the collaboration that you had with Public Works and code enforcement. It looks like the cleaning ordinance is having exactly the effect I hoped it would, because it gave the city some teeth in the ordinance so that they would have the ability to actually enforce. Now, a couple of things that I want to raise. First of all, are you also aware that cleaning ordinance can be applied to residential units? It's not just commercial centers, but it's also applicable to residential units, multifamily housing. So landlords also are responsible based on that ordinance. Am I not correct, Mr. City Attorney?
Let me check, hold on.
I think we talked about it, and I think we decided that could also be applied to residential units. If not, we can amend it.
No, it looks like just a commercial shopping center.
Okay, well, what I'd like to do is, at this time, I would like to ask if we can amend it to include residential centers as well, so that landlords are also responsible and residential property owners are also responsible for cleaning schedules. But Lieutenant Romero, I wanted to ask you about the cleaning schedule. What did you find out about the cleaning schedule? were people not maintaining the property according to the cleaning schedule? And if not, are there other tools that we're using to make sure that doesn't happen again? The accumulation of trash that we saw.
Yes, so what we found is that the majority of the large commercial complex, your Lowe's, your Targets, Home Depots, all those had a regular maintenance schedule. They were going out there every single day and maintaining, cleaning their parking lots. Their trash dumpsters were emptied out on a regular basis. And for the most part, accumulation of dirt, debris in these areas was not an issue. What they were not aware of the ordinance that required that they had a posting at the somewhere on the facility identifying all these requirements. So that became part of the information campaign. What we found is that the information and the cleaning was not present or well known to some of the more or the smaller shopping centers, and those are the ones that we've concentrated the most. And those along Hawthorne Boulevard, maybe the corner shopping center, those are the ones that were not well versed in the ordinance, and it took them a little while. So it's still a process. It's a work in progress. As I said, there's at least 4 small shopping centers that we still need to work with. But for the most part, as you travel through these, you'll find that for the most part, they are very clean.
Thank you so much for your your assistance in the collaboration. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
At this time, Mr. City Attorney, I'd like to ask that we look at, I'd like to issue a directive that I'm proposing an amendment to the ordinance to add residential centers to the commercial centers for cleaning requirements. The cleaning schedule would apply also to landlords and owners of residential properties. And also, I'd like to issue a directive that we look at the feasibility of signage throughout the city wherever these cleaning requirements are, so that people will know they're not to do any illegal dumping. And this is for the public, because Lieutenant Romero, you were exactly correct when you said the public is also responsible. So we want to put something out there to remind the public that they too are responsible. So I'd like to see if we can put some signage out in all the centers to remind people that there is no illegal dumping allowed, and that there are enforcement consequences if they do. That would be directed to Mr. City Manager.
So to clarify, when you're talking about residential properties, are we just looking at multifamily?
Yes.
Okay. And then as it relates to signage regarding illegal dumping, obviously that's good information. I don't know what ability we have to require that type of signage on private property though. And so I think there's some research we're gonna have to do. And we can bring this item back for further discussion once we do some of our homework.
All right, that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, to some extent, this is covered, Ms. Valentine, under the public nuisance portion of the municipal code under chapter 8.20 for multifamily. It doesn't require a cleaning schedule, but it does require that the multifamily building or structure, be kept clean and sanitary and free of debris.
And maybe it's just a question of maybe reminding them with signage, maybe we could have signage for them to remind them of that code, because I know we have a problem with illegal dumping at the residential sites as well.
Okay, we'll look into it.
Thank you.
To the chair.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Officer Romero. A few questions.
Yes, sir.
You addressed the bulk item, especially all these apartment buildings, right? They continue to put those bulk items out on the sidewalk for days. And back in July 1st, 2019, we negotiate with the Republic to give every resident 20 item bulk pickups, right? We gave, it was only 3, and then we went to 20 item free pickup. It's a way that like you guys did with the commercial side to send these people reminders like flyers or notes, to send the notes to the landlords and property managers to come up with some type of resolution between them and the tenants. If the tenants are moving out or cleaning up, like you said, spring cleaning, to organize some pickup with Republic, because I believe that the landlords and the property manager are not communicating with the tenants, and the tenants just go and put everything on the sidewalk. And then it stays there for days. And we know, for example, if somebody called the Republic, they have to have the account number for that address. So the tenants usually do not have that account number. So it had to be the property manager or the landlord that have to call the Republic for the pickup of the bulk item. So can we come up with some strategy to facilitate that negotiation between the landlords and the tenants, because it's a lot of bulk items on the street, and they stay there for days, like you said.
Yes. Unfortunately, some of the delays that took place several months ago is that many of the employees at Republic had got the pandemic, and so they were out. So they were short-staffed. The increase in the volume also reduced their ability to respond timely. So that set them back, and there was a small moratorium on the response, but I know that they have since resumed. I don't know if it's a mixture or collaboration of all the different people that are involved, Republic, Martinez, our code enforcement, even the police department, that are having an impact. But I see that the streets, as well as some of these areas, are looking much nicer. Yeah. But that is a good point. I'll meet with the code enforcement team and see if there's an approach that we can take.
Yeah, so the approach to talk to the landlords and the property managers, so to inform them that they don't need no need to put those things on the street, right? So to call the Republic, and then they'll say, put them on Tuesday night or Monday night, and then we'll pick up the next day. The next question that I have for you, because I think a lot of people did receive that notes that went up to the commercial. Yes. And some of them are concerned about the bus stop and the trash can that is at the bus stop. So is Martina Landscape is in charge to clean up the bus stop and to pick up the trash at the bus stop area?
And the only ones that I've seen pick up the trash is Republic. They do have a dedicated employee with a pickup truck that drives through these areas and picks them up. Part of our code enforcement and our Metro team do respond as well. And if they see items that need to be picked up, our guys are very diligent about addressing those as well.
Yeah, because some of the business that is close to the bus stop have complained that sometimes the trash stays there and it smells and nobody picks it up. And also sometimes those bus stop, people throw stuff on the floor, and I don't know who is in charge to cleaning up those bus stop with the power wash and everything like that.
Yes, I am aware that our guys, when they go out there and they do see a situation that needs to be addressed, especially if it looks pretty dirty or smells ugly, they have been in touch with the Ray Pedroza over at Public Works, and he has sent out a crew to power wash some of these bus stops. So I know that it's getting handled. If there's one specific that you're aware of, by all means, let us know, and we'll go out there and handle it. But for the most part, I believe they're very diligent about addressing those issues as well.
Good. So yeah, and I have to say that I have seen some of our people picking up the bulk items now, thanks to Mike Toledo and the city manager, that we see the truck goes around and pick up those big bulk items that is on the street, because I know Republic, it's not always reliable. So, but thank you, and a very good report. So I'm happy to see that we're on the same pace to clean up Hawthorne.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I'm listening to all that, and I think that somewhere along the lines, you're not utilizing or not making reference to the illegal dumping, the trash that we're picking up, because I remember I talked to Eric the first month, they picked up 71 tons of trash without, it just simply a call into the number. And then I think that last month they picked up 150 tons of trash or something like that. Quite a lot of trash. And all that requires is somebody to pick up the phone and call and say, in front of this building, there's a couch. Can you please come by and pick it up? Doesn't have to be the manager. It has to be, the program just needs to be, you know, it can't be the best kept secret in Hawthorne, you know. You have to let people know. And Eric and I were talking about this, that it'd be a good idea to communicate with the all the different homeowners association to let them know, to pass that information around, that all you got to do is pick up the phone and call this particular number, and they'll come by and pick up whatever's left outside of a building. And so far, I know I've done it a couple of times, that I've driven by and I see it for a couple of days, and then I finally call it up and say, listen, there's a couch here in front of this address, come by and pick it up, and they come by and they pick it up. So it's a really good program as far as I can tell from the amount of tonnage that's being picked up. And it just requires that it gets more, you know, it gets more publicity as an additional tool to keep the streets clean. Because if you call the Republic, you have to give them how many items there are, where there are, what is it? Is it a couch? Is it a chair? You know, it becomes a little labor intensive sometimes, as opposed to just calling up the illegal number and saying, listen, there's a mattress resting up against the stop sign on the corner of 141st and Washington.
Yes.
You know, and then I drive by there later and it's gone. You know, so I think that that's a program that should be made available more, or at least add more advertising that program with our community. That's it.
And just to echo that, sir, our police department, our officers, our bike team, they use it quite often. They call the number. In fact, several will take photographs, email it to me, and then I'll reach out to Republic or our hotline as well. So there's responses on many levels.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding when I said there was a mattress resting up against a stop sign, and I drove by it for about a week. And I thought, well, nobody's calling up on this, you know? And I called it, and then the mattress was disappeared.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of that if you don't call it in, it's going to stay there.
All right, so, okay, guys, so let's just move ahead.
Thank you.
I'd like to
Thank
make
you.
a motion. Thank you, Lieutenant Romero. Gracias. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, you two.
Oh, thank you. I'd like to make a motion.
Second.
Please vote.
I don't know what you voted with.
Councilmember Montero,
Yes.
Councilmember Taeda,
Yes.
Councilmember Valentine,
Yes.
Mayor Vargas.
Yes,
The vote reflects mayor and council members voting yes.
in accepting the report. That's what, yeah. We were accepting the report, that's all.
Say, well, we're voting on.
Housing Manager Kimberly Mack has an oral report on item 20. I can tell you I support this, but Ms. Mack, Housing
Good
Manager.
evening.
Yeah, go ahead, Miss.
Can you guys hear me good this
Yes.
time?
Yes.
Give us
Awesome.
a brief report. Thank you.
Okay, on the August 25th, 2020, at the city council meeting, when you all approved the program guidelines for the emergency rental assistance program, Councilmember Olivia Valentine asked that we report back on the progress of it. And so I simply wanted to report, while we were overly excited about the hopeful amount of applications that we would be receiving from the Hawthorne residents, we really received a very low turnout of applications. It could have been for a number of reasons, advertisement or individuals' ability to complete the application online or in writing or get it back to the housing department for processing, anything like that. However, at the time that the deadline had come, we had very low applications. And just to give you a quick breakdown of what we received about 50 applications online, 16 through the mail, and 2 drop-offs. We still received some applications, a few applications today, actually, because the mail is inconsistent at this point, that were dated back to October 20th. So we're processing everything that we received before the deadline of October 26th. However, we wanted to make every effort to use these funds. And in accordance with the guidelines that were approved at that time, we are going to remarket the program, and we're going to do a reopening effective November 12th through December 1st. It's a little bit longer application period, but this allows us to advertise in a greater area as far as advertising different local newspapers, do several presentations, one of which will be with the Hawthorne Homeless Task Force, and also to host our own community engagement at Zola Davis Park to see if we can get a small reserve of individuals to come out and we can explain it to them and offer them packets in hand to entice people to want to get excited about the program and to participate with it. Additionally, we just want to, do a big email blast and send out mailers to owners of these apartment builders and to renters, and to reach out to businesses to assist us to get the news out there. And also hopefully to reach the schools and let the families know that it's available for them. So, there are a few changes that we made with the program this time around. One being that there is no lottery this time. It's on a first come, first served basis. So I think that'll take maybe some of the fear away from it, along with the extensive advertising as well. And also we, everything else is the same as far as the program goes. We are seeking to process quickly. We are seeking to make sure that all the packets are complete, and we are seeking to pay the owners quickly. So everything else is pretty much the same. We are re-advertising it and trying to get people interested in the program. Just like before, if the funds are not used, then we will seek to use the funds or repurpose the funds for economic development, which can be used in several ways. We'll have to split the funds. Of course, CDBG funding is used specifically for economic development, so we can use that towards micro business grants, perhaps. There are a lot of things we can discuss on how the council wants to go with those funds. And then for the home funds, it has to be used for home purposes. So again, that can be used for a TBRA program, but the waivers for that program through HUD expires December 31st. So that program will be more strict. It will still be available, but there'll be a little few more steps to go through to be approved for that program. But we can also reinstate a CHODO and put out a new NOFA for a CHODO. And we can also really advertise our home rehabilitation program as well. So there are still ways that this money can be used to help Hawthorne residents. However, before we take that route, I thought it was just very important that we seek to assist our neediest populations, which are our low-income residents. And so that is why we are reopening the program in hopes of doing just that.
Okay.
Yeah, to the chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Kimberly, out of all the applications, what seems to, is the process difficult, or are you finding that you have to reject some of them? What's your feeling of why you haven't had more than what we've had?
Well, as far as the application goes, wanted to make sure that we had the necessary information to deem individuals eligible so that we can pay right away. A lot of other public housing agencies or cities who have gone through this program find that they issue the money very quickly up front, but don't have the necessary justification for those funds when it comes to creating a file that is audit ready. And so we are making sure that we have all the income verification information, all of the documentation that's required upfront, and processed accordingly. It's just a matter of people providing some information, but not all of the information. Maybe they didn't provide their ID. Maybe they didn't provide the landlord form that the landlord is required to submit in order to prove that they're even willing to participate so that we can help these tenants. In that sense, it's kind of out of our hands, but the paperwork is very straightforward. I would say. It's just a matter of missing documents. And those that do have missing documents, we're giving them time in accordance with the program guidelines to provide us with that missing information so that we can continue to assist them. I will say also that we find that a lot of owners, I got several calls from owners who were skeptical about, you know, even doing the program because they don't want to not be able to evict someone, which is one of the program guidelines, that you can't evict for the number of months that we assist and things of this nature. There's a lot of tension between owners and renters at this time. And so that was a lot of the questions I was receiving, you know, it doesn't cover the full amount of rent that's due. It's only, you know, 3,000 max. So it helps, but it's not the full due. And so owners just have to weigh whether or not they're willing to accept what we're offering versus nothing, or if they want to go after, you know, that tenant in small claims court later. So those are the things that we come up against.
Okay.
To the chair.
Yes.
Oh, hi, Kimberly. Thank you for the report. It is possible that, for example, because of the CDBG and the home fund, so those that apply and qualify, can we give them the money from the home fund instead of the CDBG fund?
If their income is below 60% of the median area income, yes, we can.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. And the other thing that maybe you can help, if you have a flyer that you can do English and Spanish, right?
Yes.
Contact Dr. Morgan or Dr. Smith at the Hawthorne School District. They can put in their website because Vance can tell you that they advertise the holidays and Halloween giveaway, and it was you know, hundreds of people show up because they advertise through the Hawthorne School District.
Thank you. I'll take that advice.
Yeah, Dr. Helen Morgan and Dr. Sonia Smith. Contact them. Then maybe they'll help us out to recruit some tenants.
Will do. Thank you.
And if you need the phone number, just call me. I'll give it to you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for the report, Kimberly.
Thank you. I make the motion to accept the report.
Second,
Please vote.
Councilmember Montero,
Yes.
Councilmember Taeda,
Yes.
Councilmember Valentine,
yes.
and Mayor Vargas.
Yes.
The vote reflects mayor and city council voting yes.
Do you have Senator Steve Bradford there?
Oh,
Let's check one more time. Let's see what it is. Senator Brad, we're actually going to have him present before we provided our elected reports, Mayor Vargas.
So he's not there now?
No, I told him, no, because based off what we discussed, he was going to be prepared before our elected officials report.
All right.
Yeah, so let's move forward.
Felice Lopez, presentation on the budget review. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, and staff. This report provides an update on fiscal year 1920 year end and the financial report for quarter one of fiscal year 2021. Next slide, Eric, please. Based on the unaudited records, general fund revenues increased by 2.3% for fiscal year 2019-2020 compared to fiscal year 18-19. Revenues exceeded the original projections by 6.4 million. So that was a very nice surprise for us. And expenditures were under control. All departments spent very conservatively, and general fund expenditures ended at 3.7 million under the budgeted amounts. Unaudited records indicate that revenues exceeded expenditures by 7.4 million. Next slide, please. At fiscal year end, June 30, 2018, the general fund balance was $18.8 million. There was a sale of property and additional savings in fiscal year 2018-19, which resulted in an increase of the cash balance on June 30th, 2019 to $30 million. There were higher than expected revenues this past year, as I mentioned, which brought the general fund balance, unaudited balance at June 30, 2020 to $38,348,718. Next slide, please. In March of 2020, the City Council adopted the original General Fund 2020-21 operating budget of $80,396,180. Due to COVID-19, there was an economic slowdown, which required a budget amendment. In May of 2020, the council adopted an amended 2020-21 general fund budget of $75,946,180. The revenue forecast was reduced by nearly $10 million, along with other measures to balance the budget. The assumption at the time was that the pandemic would persist until the fall of 2020. Next slide, please. At quarter end September 30, 2020, revenues reflect a decrease of 8% compared to the previous year. The most significant decreases in revenue were in business license tax, which decreased 59%. Hotel TOT, which is dependent on visitors to the city, decreased by 58%, and construction permits decreased by 44%. Next slide, please. Expenditures reflect a decrease in the first quarter of 5.6% compared to the previous year. Only 21.1% of the budget was expended. Departments are spending wisely and conservatively, and as has been the direction from council and city manager in the past several years, all the departments are following with that recommendation. Next slide, please. The general fund required cash balance is the average of 3 months of operating expenditures. For fiscal year 2021, the required balance is $19,138,130. As of September 30th, 2020, the cash balance was almost $36.7 million. Next slide, please. So in summary, for fiscal year 1920, we ended with strong revenues and controlled expenditures, which means the city started the new year in a good position. The first quarter 2021 is on track. The revenues are down as we anticipated, and the expenditures are down as we anticipated. At this point, staff continues to monitor the impacts of COVID-19, and we hope to provide a better projection at mid-year, which is scheduled to be reported in February of 2021. And that, next slide, please. If you have any questions, we are available for questions.
Thank you, Felice, for that great report. I really enjoyed hearing the good news. The TOT, I have a particular concern about that because that means that our hotels are not doing very well. And I guess my question is, when you look at the TOT from the beginning of your reporting period to the end, does it look like it's improving, or is it getting worse? What is the position you were able to observe?
For this fiscal year?
Yes.
It's basically where we expected it to be. There wasn't really a decrease. It just kind of stayed steady for the first three months of the fiscal year.
Okay, so you can't tell whether it's getting worse. It doesn't look like
not at this point, no.
Okay.
I think once we present the mid-year, we'll have a better understanding of where we are.
Okay, thank you.
To the chair.
Yes.
So Felice, if we read this right, the reason that maybe the increase of the 2.3%, it was because we were conservative in making the budget, or it was because of the first quarter sales tax and business license was still up?
I think it's a combination. We, in the past, have always been pretty conservative in our revenue projections. And so even in the amended budget, I think there was a larger decrease than maybe what we needed, because we wanted to be safe and make sure that we didn't overestimate that. So I think it was just a combination of everyone being conservative in their spending along with, being very careful in how we projected the revenues.
Okay, thank you. Next question. So you stated that our quarterly expenditure is about 19 million, right? Estimated 19 million 130 something.
That's what our that's what our required balance is. That's an average of our expenditures. Yes.
So and then the cash balance that we currently have is about 36,692,000.
Yes.
So that basically would only give us like 2 quarters of revenues if something would tremendously goes wrong.
Right. But the required balance is for 3 months of expenditures. So we are in a good position right now.
All right. Okay. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Okay, anybody else? Okay,
Through the chair,
yes, go ahead, Eric.
just to add some context, as it relates to the revenues, the city receives the bulk of its revenues in the second half of the year. And so that's another thing that, we need cash balance right now to get us through just a normal time where the revenues don't necessarily rain heavily. And then they'll come, in theory, they'll come in the second half of the year stronger. And so we continue to be on track for where we thought we would be this year.
Thank you.
Okay, so I make a motion to accept.
Second.
Please vote.
Councilmember Montero,
Yes.
Councilmember Valentine. Nope. Let's go with Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
See if Councilmember Valentine comes back.
Go ahead,
soon.
we could do it right here. Call. I vote
Council-
yes. We have 3
Okay.
people.
Okay, Mayor Vargas.
Yes.
All right. The reflects mayor and city council voting yes, minus Councilmember Valentine.
I mean, let's give her 5 seconds. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
Mr. City Manager, your consent calendar?
Thank you, Mayor. I have items 23 through 32 on my consent calendar for your approval.
Make a motion. Okay, motion by Mayor Pro Tem Montero, and I make the second. Please vote.
Okay, Councilmember Montero,
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda,
Yes.
Councilmember Valentine,
Yes.
Mayor Vargas.
Yes.
The vote reflects mayor and city council voting yes.
Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, I have just item number 34.
I move.
Second?
All right, Councilmember Montero,
Yeah.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda,
Yes.
Councilmember Valentine,
Yes.
and Mayor Vargas.
Yes.
The vote reflects mayor and city council voting yes.
Please, okay, so,
We're gonna see if Senator Bradford is.
yeah, let's go
present.
ahead and do it.
Kendrick Jones, is Senator Bradford around?
Hi, Dr. Jimenez. And hello, council members. How are you guys doing? He he is around. I just sent him another message to have him log back on again. So I'm going to follow back up with him one last time. I do appreciate you guys' patience during
No
this time.
problem.
I do apologize for that.
Okay, we're gonna move forward with our elected reports then at this time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Go ahead, City Clerk Paul Jimenez. Oh, well, City
Patterson
Clerk
first.
Paul Jimenez.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I want to thank everyone for watching from home and commend our neighbor for speaking out during public comments. I have a few updates to discuss. First, I want to update everyone on the recent election ballot count. I want to explain why during this election, unlike the past, we were not able to receive an immediate update on the percentage of counted ballots. The reason is that in the past, we would vote within precincts that were assigned to us, so it was easier to collect the data. Now that voters have the option to vote within all LA County, it takes more time to distinguish the percentage or amount of ballots that are remaining. I recently received an estimate from the county clerk's office, and as of Monday, there were under 1,000 Hawthorne ballots that needed to be counted. Please note that those remaining ballots will not impact the current standing in the election in regards to the propositions or the candidates. I also wanted to update everyone on the total number of ballots cast based on today's numbers, which is 32,578. That's a significant increase from previous elections. I wanted to give you guys some context. So in the three recent elections, so in 2015, there are 4,628 ballots cast. Okay, so 2015, 4,628. In 2016, our last presidential election, there were 25,763. In 2018, our most recent, it was 21,516. And again, the numbers as of now are 32,578. So we're over 10,000 ballots cast from last election. Okay, so
Very good news. Excellent.
Very good.
yeah, so I believe that increase is partially as a result of our current political climate. But compared to all LA County, our voting numbers are higher by percentage. And I'm confident that's a result of the work of many good people in Hawthorne. Even good people outside of Hawthorne. Actually, we had a lot of volunteers that aren't part of Hawthorne that came and helped us out. So I want to personally thank the people who helped in getting the word out about voting during this election. First, I want to thank our community volunteers and our interns, Samantha Schmidt, Josh Barsky, and Gary Galias. They made posters. We're posting on social media on a daily basis. They're coming up with creative ways to get the word out, which included a voter registration drive, locating jumbo red balloons that were placed all over vote centers. I mean, they came up with a bunch of different ideas. So I just appreciate their energy. I want to thank Diana for coordinating our everyday office responsibilities while we're focusing on getting people out to vote. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank Monica because she was responsible for overseeing the election. This was her last election, and as usual, she handled the large task with grace and positive attitude. So thank you, Monica. I also want to note that we did ask all the candidates to bring down their election signs the day after the election. We're still waiting for some signs to be picked up. My last comment is regarding our veterans. I have family members and students who are veterans that have shared their experiences with me. I hope that as a country, we do a better job of supporting our veterans after returning from service because they deserve it. I want to personally thank you all for your service. And those are all my comments for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. City Treasurer David Patterson.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, can you hear me?
We can see you too.
Great. So I just want to thank the community for coming out on election day and making your voices heard. However you voted is important that you vote. And so just very excited to see that record turnout in our community. And obviously I appreciate those that voted for me. I'm excited about the future and being able to join you guys on the council. In light of Veterans Day, I'm excited about the council's decision to create a veterans facility in the city of Hawthorne. I think that as we look towards increasing housing opportunities in the city, we continue to keep veterans at the forefront of our mind. And I just want to thank the community for making your voices heard today, paying attention to what's happening in your city, and just being involved in making your city better. And I also, it was great to see that although we're in the midst of tough times economically, that the city of Hawthorne has made some smart decisions. And so we're in a position where we can give to our community and don't have to worry about cuts and layoffs or any of that other stuff. So, I'm proud of the city in that respect. That's it.
Congratulations. Looking forward to having you. Looking forward to having you join us. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So thank you so much, Councilmember Mike Tejeda.
Well, I guess my first thing is I want to congratulate David and Angie for their success in the campaign. I'm very grateful to the council for giving me the opportunity to serve here for a couple of years. I would have liked to have stuck around a little bit longer, but it didn't work out that way. These guys that are coming on the council, they're going to do a great job, I'm sure of that. So again, I feel very fortunate that I've been able to serve the city and the planning commission, and that I got a couple of years on the council. It's an experience that I'll never forget. So thank you for that, you guys. Okay, today is Marine Corps birthday. I don't know if you guys know this because I deal with a lot of veterans, and it's almost like Christmas. It's like their birthday. You know, I don't know what it is about Marines, but this is their day. And the Marine Corps dates back to before the country was a country. It's older than the Declaration of Independence. I think it was sometime in 1775 when the Marine Corps was started or founded. So it's a big day. It's a big day for the Marines. And then tomorrow's Veterans Day, and you guys know that I'm pretty deep into that community. And so I know that the sacrifices that these guys have made firsthand. I know that well. It's a lot, and I'm glad that we recognize them tomorrow for everything that they've done for our country, for all these privileges and freedoms that we have is because of them. That's the only reason why we're able to get together and have free elections and all of those things is because of the price that they've paid over the years on our behalf. As far as the housing, I think that's why I was always excited about that was that if we kept a small functioning project, it could be something that we could go, or my group or I could go to another city and say, hey, listen, this is what we've done in Hopkins, and it's working really well. And it's much easier to do smaller projects than bigger projects. And so there's a lot of cities around Southern California that own a piece of land similar to the one that we have, and they could, these things could be done quicker and faster, and it doesn't have to get caught up in a lot of red tape. So I'm very interested in this project getting off the ground. And it's not just because of Hopkins, it's because it's a model for other cities to do something like this. It's much easier to do a smaller unit than it is to do a bigger unit. So I'm pretty excited about that. And that illegal dumping, I mean, you know, you gotta get that, that's a good program, and don't let that program die, because it really is a good idea and it's a good program. And all you gotta do is make sure that people know that if they call up and they're getting tired of looking at that couch in front of their, down the street, call it out and it'll be gone in a couple of days. So make sure that, you know, that's a big deal. And you know, that's it. I mean, I got one more meeting. I really have enjoyed this time, and I look forward to staying connected to the city even afterwards. And again, congratulations, David and Angie. I'm sure you guys are gonna do a great job. And that's it for me.
All right, let's go ahead to Councilmember Valentine.
Thank you. So the first thing I want to do is say congratulations to the winners of all the races that affect Hawthorne. Maxine Waters winning the congressional seat for the 43rd District. Steve Bradford winning the senatorial 35th District race. Autumn Burke winning the Assembly 62nd District race. Holly Mitchell, the new supervisor of the 2nd District. Don Deere winning the West Basin Municipal Water District Division 5. And also to the congratulations to the winners of the Hawthorne race, David Patterson and Angie English. Veterans Day. I want everyone to remember that tomorrow is not just a day off from work or a day to go shopping. It is a day to set aside to honor our veterans. In the past, Hawthorne has had wonderful Veterans Day ceremonies, and also from our Veterans Affairs Commissions. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19, we've had to curtail that, but it is a time for us to reflect pay our respects to those who have served. For one day, we stand united in respect for you, our veterans. This holiday started as a day to reflect upon the heroism of those who died in our country's service, and it was originally called Armistice Day. It fell on November 11th because that is the anniversary of the signing of the armistice that ended World War I. However, in 1954, the holiday was changed to Veterans Day in order to account for all veterans in all wars. We celebrate and honor America's veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. I have some information for businesses who are seeking funding. I received information that there is a lender that is aggressively pursuing minority and women-owned businesses who are in need of financing. This lender has recently received grant dollars which they must dispense quickly. Their programs have the following requirements, attributes. So the loans are between $5,000 and $150,000. They need a minimum borrower FICO score of 640. They prefer 2 years in business, but they will do startups. The rates range from 7% to 12%, and the loans can close within 21 days. I seek your assistance, the public, in identifying businesses who might be in need. I know there are businesses out there who need help. I would love to help to facilitate a meeting between you and the person who is the lender. So please contact me if you know of anyone, any business in Hawthorne that is in need of funding. And while we're on the subject of funding, please support our small businesses as they heroically reinvent themselves to adapt to the challenges of COVID-19. Please shop in Hawthorne stores and eat in Hawthorne restaurants. You know that for the past 5 years, the city of Hawthorne has put on a very successful business expo, which in January 2020 included an exhibition of at least 70 businesses. Because of COVID-19, we have had to reinvent ourselves just like we asked our businesses to do. So Hawthorne Business 2021 will be held as a virtual town hall event. It will be held with 2 panel discussions, and its theme is Reinventing Your Business in 2021. Again, January 20th, 2021, not our usual all-day event. This one will be 10 to 2, approximately 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will have 2 panel discussions. And we're looking forward to wide attendance, just as we've had in the past. So please watch our website. The website will be launching soon. Watch the website for information. We are proud to celebrate the launch on November 17th of our South Bay Fiber Network. This is a partnership with the South Bay Cities COG in which all 15 cities in the South Bay have participated, including the city of Hawthorne. The network connects to at least 1 city facility in 15 cities in the South Bay. It is a high-speed capacity broadband network which will allow the South Bay cities to embrace the digital economy with high-speed connections and smart city technologies. We will continue to bring you information as we put this great new tool to use. November 17th is launch day, and there'll be a big celebration, so you'll be hearing about it. So I want to mention about our home decorating contest. This is the city of Hawthorne's 13th year of conducting a holiday home decorating contest. There are awards for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. Winners receive a frame sign for their lawn, plus a gift card. Virtual judging is done by Recreation Fine Arts Commissioners and the Recreation staff. Entries are due by December 15th, and any information about this program can be found at www.cityofhawthorne.org/holiday contest. I wanted to show you the flyer. If you can see it, oh, I wish I could share the screen. but it's a very pretty flyer. It's on our website and it gives you all the information. So I just as a personal note, there was a decorating contest apparently for Halloween. And I drove around on Halloween night looking at the various displays. It was so heartwarming because, you know, COVID-19 has been a very depressing time. But seeing all the homes that were decorated and so much effort by the homeowners to put into making their homes beautiful for the public gave me such a good feeling. I said, I can't be depressed because this is just lovely that so many homeowners took the time to make their homes beautiful so that people could come by and enjoy them. So I'm encouraging homeowners, please do this again. Do this for the Christmas holidays. You'd be surprised how encouraging and uplifting it is for the community to see the homes decorated. So I encourage everyone to enter the decorating contest. And again, you must have your entries in by December 15th, and you have to have, which means your entries and your pictures, and the judging will be done on December 16th. So please enter, everyone, and thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, please go ahead. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, thank you for all the Hawthorne residents that are listening and participate in these virtual City Hall meetings. Again, I want to say thank you for the City of Hawthorne because this is the first time in history that we have 32,000 people voting. That is amazing. And I have to say my hat goes off to Dr. Jimenez and his staff and the volunteers because, even I saw Josh and the people volunteer on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday on those flex voting centers at Holly Park and Memorial Center. So thank you for organizing all like that. It was a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Congratulate to all the winners, like Ms. Valentine said, all the states, federal and local levels. Mr. Mayor, congratulations for your election, David Patterson and Angie English to come back to the council. I have to say that I ran a clean campaign, and I ran because my goal is to protect the City of Hawthorne and his residents. So I believe I did the right thing, and I'm proud what I have done, I have accomplished, and I'm going to continue to move my agenda forward because I care about the city, and my priority is to make this city great and make sure that everybody is prospered in the City of Hawthorne. So I want to talk to you guys about a little bit about the Clean Power Alliance because some of you receive an email from this Michelle asking us to go from the lean power to the 100% power, right? As you know, the Clean Power Alliance have three stages, right? Lean power, that is the lower, and then you have the clean power that's in the middle, and then 100% power. And I know that most of us residential and commercial in Hawthorne, we've been doing pretty good because we're on that lean power. That's when we started. But a lot of the cities, because right now we have 30 cities and 2 counties, counting up Los Angeles and Ventura County, and plus 30 cities. We're part of that Clean Power Alliance. And some of them are going from that lean power to 100% power. But that, and we know it has to do to maintain the clean energy, zero emission. But I believe right now, because of the COVID and because a lot of people struggle financially, it's a burden if we would vote to go from, say, lean power to the 100% clean, because it will affect the rates, right? So I think maybe we will look at it next year to see if the people of Hawthorne is willing to pay a little bit more for the clean power energy, right? Because as we see, the utility tax, people voted no for us to increase it. So I'm not coming to you to say, let's go from lean power to 100% power, because I don't think we're there yet, right? We know all of us believe in a clean environment, the climate change, we see what's going on, the fires, the hurricanes, but but Hawthorne, we are one of those community that is disadvantaged and very low income. So we need to take that in consideration. Just to give you a little bit, the Clean Power Alliance, when they started, they took a loan of $10 million from the County of Los Angeles, and they have paid that $10 million loan. So no more debts. So right now, the Clean Power Alliance is on a very good, financial stability. So they have created a fiscal stability plan that right now have $72 million. So that is just for the rainy days. So that's very good for us as a 30 city member plus 2 counties, that our Clean Power Alliance is physically sound, and they seeing the equity go up. And maybe in the near future, there will be a company that could, begin on the stock market and provide, bonds to be buying in stocks, right? So they're doing pretty good. So Clean Power Alliance, just keep in mind that every year there is opportunity to default from lien to 100%, but I think maybe next year we'll talk about it, okay? The other thing that I want to mention to the people, so this is the Thanksgiving is coming, and I'm organized with the City of Hawthorne and the Hawthorne President's Council, Moneta Gardens, to give some food baskets away on November 23rd. Probably it's going to be around 2 p.m. So we are getting all the preparation done, the food, maybe gift cards, because we don't want frozen turkeys. So we're going to give people gift cards to go buy their own meat, okay? So if you need a Thanksgiving basket, you can call over here at City Hall to Rebecca to put you on the list. But like I said, most of the refills come from the Hawthorne School District for the needy families and the homeless families. But if you out there need Thanksgiving food basket, contact Rebecca Sanchez here at the City of Hawthorne. And again,
Mr. Montero, you're at 30 seconds.
Holy cow, all right. No, basically I want to say thank you very much. It was a very, 3 months of stressful, but we all survived. And the city have to move forward, and we have to work collaborative with our partners, not just the City Hall, but the private entities, the business, the developers, to move Hawthorne forward for better future of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So I want to thank the residents for being here today. And I want to thank the residents of Hawthorne for participating in this electoral process. As you heard today, there was a record number of people within the city of Hawthorne voting, percentage-wise, since it's a general election, with more people coming out usually to vote during these times. So I want to thank the community's residents for participating in that process. And so as you heard today, and as discussed by our financial, our finance director, the city of Hawthorne is on a great path. Actually, it's a very, very momentous increase. We increased about 600% last year that we counted the city's cash fund balance. So it's like you as a resident having a checkbook, and you have just like 10 bucks in your account. Increasing that by 6 times is like a heck of a lot more. And for the city, a recommended cash fund reserve balance is about 20% of the budget for the city. So 20% of the budget of the city would be what, like $15,000 to $18,000, 15 million to $18 million. So at no point did the city ever have in these last 20 years anything close to that. Okay. And when we took over administration-wise, myself and elements of our council that were there with us, we inherited a $5 million cash fund balance. So together with the foresight of the elements that we had on the council, myself, and then with our 2 council members that joined us in this term, Mayor Pro Tem Montero and Councilmember Tayeda, we were able to increase that to, and of course with our city manager, previous city manager Arnie Schodberg and staff, and the good direction that we as a council gave, we increased that up to $30 million. And now you see that we've reached 38 million. So that's a testament to the fact that we are doing the right thing, that we were on track, that it was not catastrophic, that it was not headed, we were not headed in the wrong direction, as stated by people who are running in the mayoral race. Okay, and I'm not talking about my colleague here because he never said that. Okay, so we are on the right path, and I really thank the residents who saw that. We as elected officials are, like I said previously, like I told people out there, we represent every single person, whether it doesn't matter what political party you are, it doesn't matter what background you are, or what religious faith or persuasion you have. We represent every single person, even if you are a citizen, even if you're just a resident, even if you're not officially a resident or whatever. We represent everyone. And so, yes, this was a very contentious race. It's over. And I'm glad that the residents, I commend my colleague, Mayor Pro Tem, and I wish Councilmember Hadar Awad was here so I could talk to him as well. But we went through the tempestuous climate that we had over these last four months. And I'm very grateful and honored that the residents are placing their trust in me to be able to be the mayor for this next 4 years. We're gonna do great things. I feel confident. I wanna thank Councilmember Mike Dayela for joining us these last couple of years. The great work that you've done, your straight arrow. You've done the right things. You look for the city, and I know you love the city of Hawthorne, and I know you'll be around and helping us. And you know, I've supported you. I supported you openly in this election, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to work with you. So thank you so much. I want to congratulate City Treasurer David Patterson for being a gentleman, being always someone that is looking to build bridges and work with all our council member colleagues and with people in the community. Gentlemen, because you know, one of the first people that you reached out to, I don't want to just, we were, at some point, maybe we were not talking as much as we should, but over these last 2, 3, 4 years, we've developed a relationship of trust, of cooperation, and I'm very excited to have you as a member of our city council member. That's why I promoted you during this election, because I trust you as well to do a great job with us. So thank you, City Treasurer David Patterson, for joining us. So we'll be working with Council Member-elect Angie Reyes English, who's coming to join us. And it's a new horizon, it's a new start. So I'm looking forward to her joining us in the momentum that we have as a city council. So, and I thank you all the supporters. Thank you to all the volunteers who helped out in my campaign. And I think we'll have much more to say when we get sworn in a couple meetings with. So this is just a immediate thank you to the community, and I'm looking forward to working with all our colleagues here because we're on the right track. And as I guess my motto was, let's keep things on the right track. So we're headed in that direction. So thank you once more. All right, so
Senator Bradford's still having technical difficulties, so he's just going to reschedule.
Yeah, we gotta keep moving forward.
Hey, to the chair.
Yes, sir.
I forgot to mention, like the Veterans Day is tomorrow, so we want to make sure that our heart goes with all the veterans that are going to be celebrated day tomorrow, and like Ms. Valentine said, that we need to take care of the vets, and we know Mike will continue to do that. And anything that we can do, let us know, okay? Because like Ms. Valentine said, all of us have relatives. Like my uncle fought in the Korea War, and I have nephews that have gone to Iraq and Afghanistan. So we all have patriots on us. Even we were not born in this country, but we are very much patriotic, and veterans are our love. So all the love.
Listen, if you build that project over there and it's a successful project, we're gonna be able to talk other cities into doing the same thing.
You have my thumbs up.
That's for sure.
Okay.
Okay, and then some last words too. Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations and thank you to all the veterans who are with us, and all those who have served, whether they passed away or are still with us or did not pass away during the war. Thank you all the veterans and all those who participated in our military to protect us and keep us free as a country. My dad is a veteran during the Vietnam War, so thank you, Dad, for your service. Cousins, friends who served in the military, so thank you to all of them and all the people that are from Hawthorne that are veterans and all around, everybody who's participated in keeping us free, allowing us to have the ability to choose our leaders freely, having an electoral process like the one we have right now, where you're able to, if you're not happy, you're able to freely change out your leaders, okay? Or if you're not happy with it, with something somebody's saying, you're able to express that in the ballot box. Not like in these other countries, like Venezuela, Cuba, Vietnam, China, and all those countries that have a political system where they browbeat you and they fix the elections and they stuff the ballot boxes, or they even just collapse the electoral process and all of a sudden announce the leader. So,
All right, Nero, you're at 30 seconds, Mr. Mayor.
oh, I'm gonna use those 30 seconds up, Mr. City Clerk. Thank you.
You do it.
I'm getting into this. I'm just proud to be an American and proud to be an American, proud to be a Hawthorne resident, a Hawthornian, and I'm just kind of excited. I'm excited about what's happening nationally and locally. So let's go on to the next stuff. Thank you, guys. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on the closed session? If not, I'll declare oral communications closed. Mr. City Attorney, will we be able to combine these meetings all in one?
Yes, why don't we go ahead and do closed session item numbers 37, 38, 39, and 40. And I'll make an individual report after all the closed sessions are concluded.
Please. Okay, so we can, I wanted to check just so we can be in the back and just kind of go straight in very efficiently, because there are people that are watching and they want to see this meeting through, and we just want to let you guys know what's going to happen. All right, I will now recess the city council meeting to conduct a closed session for a conference pursuant to the agenda. We're in recess.
Wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing this song. Wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
How do you protect yourself and others from coronavirus?
Avoid touching your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. Wash your hands often with soap and water for 20+ seconds.
Clean and disinfect surfaces and objects.
Together, we can help slow the spread.
When you're interacting with others who are not members of your household in both public and private spaces, wear a cloth face covering. Before you put it on, wash your hands or sanitize them. Before you take it off, make sure your hands are clean. And after you take it off, wash your hands again. Wash your cloth face coverings often. Wear a clean one every single day. Learn more at publichealth.lacounty.gov.
Hello, I'm Gloria Gray, President of the West Basin Municipal Water District Board, where we take pride in delivering safe, reliable water to our communities.
According to the CDC, coronavirus is not transmitted through water.
West Basin works diligently to protect the quality and reliability of the water supply. On behalf of the West Basin Board of Directors, we hope you and your family are staying safe and healthy.
For more information, visit westbasin.org.
As the nation's doctor, I often get asked, what should I do if I think I might have coronavirus?
People who are sick should stay home. You don't go to an emergency room, you don't go to a clinic. You get on the phone and you ask for advice and instructions from your physician.
We don't want you to go into the ER or the doctor's office without talking to them first because you might spread coronavirus to someone else. Please visit coronavirus.gov for more information.
We are now back in session. Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, we met in closed session. On closed session, item number 37, the city attorney was instructed. On closed session, item number 38, the city attorney was instructed. On closed session number 39, the city attorney was instructed. On closed session item number 40, the labor negotiator was instructed. That is my report.
Thank you so much, everybody. There's nothing further. I declare.
Night.
Good night.
I declare
Night.
that.
Have a good week.
Night,
Happy
all.
Veterans Day.
Are you guys trying to get all that stuff in there or what?
Good night.
All right, this meeting is now adjourned. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all the veterans out there.
Thank you to the veterans.
Thank you, Hawthorne, also for participating in the elections.